Yeah.
So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 12th Palisades Neighborhood Association Board meeting. I have some announcements to make. I want to repeat or say again, board meetings are on the second Thursday of almost every month, and they're all via Zoom. Anyone living in Palisades is automatically included. The map is on our website. The P&A has over 4,000 residents and more than 1,500 homes. We are one of the largest neighborhood associations and have 10% of the voice, 10% of the population of Lake Oswego. We welcome everyone. We encourage neighborhood participation and welcome neighbors. Hope they get something out of tonight's meeting and to let us know by raising their hand or in the chat anytime during the meeting if they have a question, a concern. We want to hear from you. The raise hand icon is in the middle of your screen on the bottom. Meeting etiquette, 2-minute limit per person so that all can be heard. Please keep your comments respectful and relevant. And while we respect and encourage differences of opinion, we reserve the right to cease unproductive commentary or off-topic commentary. If anyone needs help with Zoom, please contact us through the website and we'll be happy to help. The Palisades Neighborhood Association is a volunteer organization. Our purpose is to provide a forum for the membership to work together for the improvement of neighborhood livability. The P&A, Palisades Neighborhood Association, serves as a liaison to the city. Does anybody have any questions about that? I am going to turn it over to Charlie Buck, who is our Secretary of the Month. And thank you, Charlie. If you could proceed with the roll call.
Okay, perfect. Only a pleasure. So I'm just going to go through. So roll call. Is there a list for that? But okay, let's just do the reps first. Frederick, obviously you're there. John, yeah, John's there.
John's here.
Me, Jenny, yes.
No, Jenny is no. She couldn't attend tonight.
Okay. Carrie, yes. Carrie is
yes.
okay, and then we've got Roger.
Yeah.
Robert.
Here.
Rick.
Yes.
Well, Rick is not a board member, but you could list him under attendees.
It looks very like a board member to me.
Yes,
Looks
he does.
Official Okay, who else would there be?
There's Nancy and Meg.
Well, yeah, Nancy and Meg.
So on the check on the template that I gave you, it should have check boxes for all that and every single person's name.
Okay, I just see the reps.
Yes, just the reps. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, there's 2 lines on it. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you? No, I'm just joking.
Hey, if there's a way to make this easier, I want to hear about it.
I've got to make it somebody else's fault.
You and my 13-year-old son. Thank you, Chuck.
Do I look like the guilty type to you?
You sound like the guilty type to me.
Yeah, you're right. I am. Usually when something is wrong, I'm always, yeah, trust me, it's me. So Harold.
Harold is not here.
Okay.
I haven't been able to reach him. Has anybody heard from Harold Rust in the last couple months? Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that he's been wanting to quit for a long time, but hasn't done so officially. So I'm trying to reach him to find out.
Okay, so that's everybody, and we've got a quorum, and then we've got to I've got do we have a motion to approve the previous meetings of 8/8, the meeting minutes?
I second.
Okay. And so everybody is in favor, and we're moving on. So perfect.
Yes.
I think Nancy has a question.
We're
Nancy.
voting in favor.
I'm
Voting in
just
favor.
agreeing. Yes, I'm good with the minutes. That's
Okay.
Voting in favor.
Perfect.
I got a little distracted there, sorry. All right,
And that is it. Thank you. I think that's the lot.
thank you so much. So it's been approved unanimously. Thank you.
Yes.
Moving on to treasurer's report. John?
Before we get to that, on the meetings, they're listed in the documents side of base camp. And I think they can be removed once they've been approved.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's under the leadership team base camp board.
Yeah, so the last two meeting minutes have been approved and they're still up there, so.
Yeah, okay, but it has a huge amount of memory, so I'm not too worried about cleaning it up, but when it becomes a problem, Carrie and I will clean it up.
Okay, just thought I'd throw that out.
Yeah, and I just want to pause for a second because Elisa Williams just joined us. She is a neighbor that I've had the great pleasure of meeting not too long ago and talking with, and we'll learn more about what's unique about Elisa when we get to that part. Welcome, Elisa. Oh, do you have your video off? Your audio, Elisa? Okay, well, she'll
She's
there
she's
you go.
connecting right now. So
Connecting to audio. Can you hear us now, Elisa?
it might take her a sec.
Yeah, I had a little couple of issues moving all my changing my settings for my work stuff. So I apologize.
Nope, that's okay. You're with us. That's great. We were just in the middle of the treasurer's report, and I saw you coming on, and I just wanted to say hello. All right, John, you want to, thanks for that comment on base camp. Do you want to move ahead and tell us the rest of your report?
Okay, so our current balance in our Home Street bank account is $607.44. A reimbursement request for base camp was submitted to the city in early August for $180, $15 for June, $15 for July, and $150 a lump sum payment for the remainder of the annual fee. A reimbursement of $165 was received from the city, and it's been stipulated that the June monthly fee may not have been reimbursed because it occurred in last year's cycle. So the remaining $15 reimbursement was paid out during the following August submission of expenses. So an additional reimbursement request was then submitted to the city in later August for $203.57, $47.69 for Amazon laminating sheets, $30 for a Minuteman press for the wildfire prevention signs, $83.88 to Sage Blue for our annual web hosting fee, and another $42 to Minuteman Press. The reimbursement was received and deposited into our Home Street bank account. Cashier checks have been mailed out to Carrie and Frederique for the expenses that they have incurred, and the Sage Blue web hosting fee was paid directly online. So to date, there are no other pending expenses. So I always follow up with P&A residents are encouraged to donate to our neighborhood association. For information about projected expenses and how to donate, please refer to the Get Involved, I Want to Donate page on the PalisadesNeighborhood.org website.
I have
That's
a
it.
question, John. So
Yes.
everything that you said lends me to believe that the city paid for the entire base camp annual subscription. Is that correct?
Yes.
I mean, great.
But they have
Broken it.
annual. Still there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So their cycle from year to year is like June 30th, I'm sorry, July 1st to June 30th the following year.
Mhm.
So the expenses have to occur during that time frame.
Right. But that's great. I wasn't sure they were gonna pay for all of it, so that's amazing.
Yeah, so I think we're good as long as we
Keep it up.
submit it during the current year cycle.
That's great news. Yay. Yay, yes.
Anything else to add, John?
And that's it. I got some traffic issues to report later when that comes up, but that's it for the treasury.
Okay, okay, because Rob Heap, who does the traffic is also here. Nobody else has any other questions? All right, so we've already done the approval of the meeting minutes, which was part of the old business, but that's okay. We can move things around. And, so for new business, I'm excited to, introduce, well, first of all, for those who don't know, Area 3 position has been vacated because Joe Avila and Kiki Avila have moved away. So Area 3, he was Area 3 rep, and so that's no longer the case. He's no longer he is no longer available to be Area 3 rep, but our wonderful neighbor Alyssa, who happens to live in Area 3, is interested in stepping into that role and has already gotten 5 endorsers and submitted her application. So per our bylaws, she's approved. I don't know of anybody else who has been interested. We've been looking for a while, but not a long while, but since Joe told us. So everybody, please welcome Elisa.
Welcome.
Hey,
Welcome,
Yeah.
Elisa.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you. Good to be here.
What street are you
appreciate it.
on?
I live on Green Tree Road. So,
Okay.
Do you know where Glenhaven and Green Tree make the little pie shape?
Yeah.
I live right on the corner in the brown mid-century
Ah,
house.
Oh,
great.
cool.
Cool, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I'm going to ask everybody, since I'm not super great at this, right now on your screen, you should be able to see everybody and not the, you should just be seeing windows of everybody's face.
As well as your shared screen that's on raising funds.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to stop share. There we go.
Okay, there you go.
Pardon me for my
No worries.
unprofessionalism, but yeah, I'm trying to do a couple things at the same time. Okay, so yeah, that's welcome, Elisa. Now tell me, am I pronouncing your name right?
You are Elisa. So,
Elisa.
yes, thank you so much. It's one of those names, so I don't expect people to get it right. Thank you for asking, though.
Well, my name gets butchered quite a bit, so I know how that feels. Next item on the agenda is the general meeting. Typically, in the past, we've had a spring and a fall general meeting. And I am in the bylaws, it only says at least one general meeting. It says one general meeting is required. I'd like to suggest, it doesn't really need a board vote, then we're certainly not changing the bylaws in any way, but there's no compelling reason or big issues that would warrant getting the neighborhood all together. Obviously, they can certainly come to any of our board meetings. So I'd like to propose that we not do a general meeting this fall. Does anybody have an issue with that?
No,
Great idea.
Yeah, like I just came in, as you guys know, and it was like confusing that there's 2 meetings. Like it's easier to kind of get behind one a year and like plan it and execute on it and use that as your headline event. where you're inviting people in person to come. It's kind of strange to have it.
Yeah. Plus we spend money each time we do that, and it'd be nice not to spend it on one extra meeting.
Yes,
And it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we have no event committee, but the main reason is that I don't see any benefit to our neighborhood for it. And should there be some big issue, good, bad, or otherwise, that would be better to have people in person as well as Zoom, by all means, let's coordinate that. But so I hear no objections, is that right?
none.
None.
Rob, you're indifferent?
Sorry. Yeah, I think it's okay.
All right, Meg, you're cool with that?
Yeah.
Rick? Any
Sounds fine to
compelling
me.
reason?
Sounds fine to me. If you guys can put together like a, like a little get together or picnic or something like that during the summer, I think that fulfills those 2 meetings that I believe it was in the bylaws. Maybe that's been taken out. It was supposed to be 2 main meetings, like general meetings, but one could be a picnic or some other event like that. So maybe the board meeting that was at your house would count as one of them too. So, and then
Well,
one general meeting.
Actually, the bylaws have been rewritten. So
Okay.
the new bylaws, as of a couple years ago, say 1 general meeting, and then the new board meets within 2 weeks, and 2 weeks of being appointed. So that would be, there's no specific 2 meetings, but those are the 2 meetings that are required. And then in addition to the board meetings.
Sounds great.
So thank you, everybody, for your feedback. That's a big relief off of me. Next on the agenda item are, boy, now I gotta share. I'm gonna switch things around because I don't want to share the screen and mess this up again. Yeah, I guess I need to. Okay. So I am just gonna go to this, and share, and okay. So I don't know how many of you look at the website regularly or read the newsletter, and I know a couple of you don't subscribe to the newsletter. Was that Carrie? You want me to tell you who it is so you can string him up by his toes?
Oh, I'll find out.
Okay. But latest news that I do want all the board members to know, I'd like to encourage you to be participants in all of these things, but if you're not, you're not. I totally get it. I don't want to make things more, I don't want to add more things on your plate, but there's some really cool stuff going on. The fire chief and I have, and Rick Eilers have gotten a series of classes. They're once a month, the first Saturday of the month, and they are, it's the first one is coming up October, and the first one is a free CPR class. And when you go there, you can see how to register and what the other classes are. And then Carrie, it's everything from first aid to tourniquets to, gosh, I don't remember them all. But
Winter preparation, ice preparation.
Ice preparation, yeah. So there's some really good stuff there, and if you can, as you're talking to people, whether you're out visiting neighbors or whatever, it would be good to spread the news on that as well.
You know how many people have signed up thus far?
Well, for the first one, about 10 people.
Okay.
I'm hoping to get more, and also of all ages. We had kids there who were 10 years old, and we're getting a lot out of it. And so, yeah.
I might bring a group of teens with me. I have my teen coming, so I might get some of his friends.
Yeah, yeah. So that's really good stuff. Be 2 weeks ready program. You've heard about that. Carrie has added a new newsletter item of spotlighting a different area rep, and she was, so, you know, that'd be cool to take a look at. And the latest one is she did it herself because she was short on time, but it's
I
adorable.
was out of town.
It's adorable. For those who don't know, the South Shore Fire Station is in dire need of being replaced, not fixed. There's way too much to be fixed. And as an architect and having taken a tour there, I can tell you they're not just saying that there's so much, and it's not safe for the firefighters. So, and it looks like the city council is behind it. They are supporting it. The mayor, the city council, the fire chief that really wants it. So they're all in support. There's a task force that Chris Durkee has been elected to. It was a task force to go over this, whether to replace it or not. But my guess is that when everything's said and done, it'll probably end up on a ballot for the voters to vote for, whether we want to have a bond for this. And I highly encourage everybody, this is my personal opinion, I want to keep the fire station there. For us, try to encourage, if you're in agreement, encourage people to say yes for the bond.
I just want to add one thing. I was up for the budgetary committee spot. I did not get it, but the woman who did get it, because I was new to the committee, the woman who did get it, it's like 3rd year, and she's also in Palisades, and her name escapes me at the moment, but I will circulate it in base camp once I go and kind of dig into my notes on that. But she's in area 6.
Haha, that's nice.
Yeah,
We need an
but
area rep in area 6.
She's not interested. I guess she has spoken to some people before in the past, and this is like coming from a couple of different people. So
Okay.
I'm not sure what her status is, but she's a veteran on the committee, and that is going to help as well.
On the budget committee.
On the budget committee, she's like on her 3rd term or 3rd year on the budget committee. So she understands how it works.
Oh, great. But you're still on that committee.
I'm still on the budget committee, but I wasn't chosen for the task force seat.
For the fire station.
That's what I wanted to
Okay.
just make clear.
Perfect. And then those who are interested in LORAC and the Lake Oswego Recreation and Aquatic Center, Nancy Sage provided us with a very nice update directly from Parks and Recs. So yeah, and then of course there's more See All News. So keep up to date with those kinds of things, and join the join these things or attend these things if you can, and if they're of interest. This is also, for those who don't know, Carrie has also started doing a dog of the month or a pet of the month. And it's gotten wild success for the newsletter, which, as I've told Carrie many times, is very nice to have something that is not gossipy, but that lightens up the newsletter. Because I tend to be just the facts, ma'am, and that can be boring. And she puts it closer to the bottom, so it's not detracting from important news and such. There's watershed tours, and also what was formerly the candidates debate that was going to go at a Park Academy that I helped the neighborhood chairs council put together, is, since they're running unopposed, it's been changed to more of a forum for land use and livability. And so far she's got, she meaning the chair of the chairs committee, has got Mayor Joe Buck and the Clackamas County Commissioner will be attending, and hopefully the city council members, as well as planning commissioners have been invited. But it's open to everybody, and this is a great time to ask our elected officials those things.
I didn't realize that forum got changed.
It was very quick. It was just a couple
Yeah.
days ago.
Interesting.
Because it was because they were running unopposed, things
Right.
changed quickly. And
So
this make,
Frederic, would it be possible to invite Jessica Naman, I can never pronounce her last name, from planning? Because there's a lot of changes as far as planning and land use within Lake Oswego.
excellent idea. I'll see if that has been in the works, if that is in the works or not. Since she's a public employee and this is a, you know,
Yeah.
city thing, and I don't know, it's not sponsored by the city, it's sponsored by the neighborhood, neighborhood chairs. So I don't know if there's any obligation, but it would certainly be very nice. That's an excellent
I mean,
suggestion.
and she has a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, if you could look up her name and put it in the chat so that Chuck can have it correctly for the notes. And Chuck, if you could add that as an action item for me to invite Jessica, and I also forget how, I mean, it's a long last name, from planning, right?
Yeah, it's Jessica Namanalu. I don't know if anybody has her name. I can paste it in chat.
Thank you. I forget sometimes how connected you are, Rob. What do you think of this forum? Do you have any opinion?
It looks good. I was going to say one thing that we liked when I was on the Plan Commission was setting up neighborhood tours. And I'm not sure who's chairing the Plan Commission now, but it was something that was very favorable. So that's another idea. And the city staff would sometimes attend that. So that would be something maybe Jessica would attend. And what it is that the staff like Jessica and the current plan commissioners, they would come out on like a weekend or wherever we want, an evening, whatever we want. And they would walk around the neighborhood and they would look at any land use concerns we have and discuss them. So interesting idea. I don't know if there's how much interest there is. But if there was, there's certainly a precedent for that, and I think they would be willing to do it. Staff really liked it.
That's a
Carrie, I
great
see your
idea.
hand is up at
No, it was clapping. The hand was
Yeah.
clapping. That was a really good idea.
yeah. But Nancy Sage, because you're speaking for Chris Durkee as well as your own parks domain, and Meg, are there any land use concerns where a neighborhood tour for us would make sense?
I think Meg could speak to that better than I could because she works more closely with Chris.
I can't think of anything other than the Stafford project, and I don't know, I'll address that a little bit later. But I can't think of anything where a neighborhood tour would be useful right off the top of my head.
Thank you. Rob, can you think of something, or anybody else, really?
Isn't there
Yeah.
like safety concerns in Treetop?
Yeah, that's a good point. One thing about these tours, it depends on who we're going to invite. If it would be like Jessica coming, it's really focused on land use concerns, so development. And a lot of times when we go on the tours, people would raise because there's just so many traffic concerns and safety concerns, and that was somewhat out of the scope of the tour. So I think like what was previously said, like the Parks and Rec Center, the Rasik Park, those type of things, those type of things that are getting developed. Maybe even Stevens Meadow, if we have concerns about that. Those are all within the scope of a planning tour.
Okay, well, I don't think there's anything right now, it sounds like, but it's a good
Sure.
thing to keep in mind. Thank you for reminding
Yeah.
us of that, Rob. I was going to say, Jessica's the gal who took over Scott's position, right?
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
What's her official title?
She's a community development director. I pasted it in the chat.
Okay, this is kind of jumping topics, but are we done with this topic of, I'm done with my announcements, except for the alert. That's one thing. So really quick, Elisa, she is the one you were asking me about the overlay. She's the one that we would connect with. Should you be interested in moving that forward? Elisa, did that make sense? Okay.
Yep.
And we can talk later. I just didn't want to forget that was the person whose position we were trying to fill. So I'm going to try and find, and it probably is in the emergency preparedness. And that's the fire chief reached out to me personally, asking me to publicize this. There are a very small percentage of Lake Oswegoans that are subscribed to the Clackamas County alerts. And he really wants us to push that as a safety thing. So the link is in the page, and you saw how I got there from the from the emergency preparedness category. And I know, Carrie, you were going to look into some problems about registering. It was clumsy or something.
Yeah,
It is clunky.
it's super clumsy. I haven't taken the time to document it yet though. So
Okay, that's fine.
who said that? Who was that you, Nancy? Have you or Meg? Did you sign up for it and it was clumsy?
I think I signed up for it a long time ago.
Yeah, I did not.
Okay, I thought I heard someone say it was clumsy too.
It was me.
Oh,
I signed up for a lot of those because of my job, and it's not really very intuitive. But I don't know if I know they were adding a feature where if you had any medical equipment where you might need extra help in a power outage, you could include that, and that would be maybe a selling point for people that otherwise wouldn't be interested. So you would get extra help from emergency responders if you needed help during a power outage, like people that have respirators or other things that require power.
You know anything about that, Rick? Clackamas County alerts? Okay.
No.
If you could learn more about that, Elisa, and share with me through Basecamp, and or Rick, or both of us, there's that sounds great. Let's follow up on that. If you could add that as an action item, Chuck.
Yeah, I'll look into it. I think some counties are doing it. I'll get more information about it.
Thank you. Let's see, more information about the Clackamas County Emergency Alert section where people can put if they need specific things during an emergency.
Yeah, people with disabilities or people that just have to have electricity. Yeah, I'll follow up on that one.
Thank you so much. See, she's just hitting the ground running. Look at her go. And that's not all. Wait till you hear later on what else she's helping us with. So now we're going on to the before I move on to committee reports, is there anything else? Any other comments of what we've talked about so far? Okay. Land use. Meg?
Okay. So there's been two actions so far this month. Actually, both of them are ADUs, one on Cedar Street and the other one on Cherry Crest Road. And what's kind of interesting is on the ADU, the city's trying to encourage ADUs being built, but they're giving, they're allowing the homeowner to build them and then waiving the SDC charges as long as they agree to not use it for short-term rental for 10 years. So if within the first 10 years, if they use it for short-term rental, they'll have to pay all the SDC charges for that unit. And that's about $25,000. I mean, so it's kind of a cool way to get people to build. I know one person's building it because they're going to do some extensive renovation on their house and they want a place to live while it's being done. And then they're going to be using it for family. And maybe at some point they'll rent it out. And the other one, I don't remember what they were going to be using it for, but they're either going to be using it for family members or for rentals, but not short-term rentals. And so that's just another way that the city's trying to encourage more development of rental units that are not being used in the short-term rental market.
Well, that is very helpful information. Thank you.
Correct.
Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Hmm.
And I reached out to Ken Allen to get an update on the Stafford project, and he didn't really have anything to share at this point.
Okay. Just to bring Elisa up to date, Ken Allen is the developer and a Palisades neighbor who is developing the C3 church property. Okay.
Potentially.
Oh, it's not a done deal?
Well, he's in the last email, he said something about rethinking, so I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
know where it stands.
That was going to be my question, Maggie. Is like, I've actually heard from counselors that they're kind of questioning the same thing. Is like, what's happening? And it's like, why isn't
Yeah.
it moving? And comments like, isn't it going really slow? So,
Well, I think so what I heard in the last, I'm trying to remember, was an email, I thought, and it might have just been to Chris and I, but he hasn't even closed on the property yet.
yeah.
So let me
He's
see.
invested a lot in it, though. A lot of
Correct.
money, a lot of time. I don't see him going away. But he's just trying to, I don't know. I think it's more of a negotiation. Plus, the current owners are being a little funky.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that part.
Yeah.
I think he's trying just to prove out his business case to make sure that it's a
Correct.
viable project and it will make money. And once he can convince himself of that, then he'll move ahead. And
Huh.
I've told Ken that too. But I think a lot of people, the neighborhood too is investing a lot of time. They went to a lot of meetings, and that's some of the feedback that I'm getting. And even like I said, I think some of the city staff and councils feel like they've invested a lot. So they would like to see something happen.
Yeah.
You've talked to him personally, Rob?
In the meetings that we've had, yeah, I've
Oh,
given that
okay.
feedback. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, since those public meetings, I think there is
No. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think it's more than, it's certainly the viability is the most important, but the current owners are also being a little funky. But there's no use going down speculation.
Yeah, maybe it's a good time to bring this up. I got some input from our area that they said they would like for me to bring this to the Palisades Neighborhood Association Board. It's regarding that same area, and it's kind of connected with Rasique, of course, which is right next door. But some of the residents are growing very concerned. One of the residents is kind of a senior. She lives alone in the house, and around midnight, somebody walked up in a hoodie sweatshirt and started ringing the doorbell and just acted really suspicious. And of course, the Lake Oswego police were called. They came out. They, I said, yeah, this looks kind of suspicious, just because it was all caught on camera and the way he was acting. And so they went around the neighborhood searching for him, but they didn't find him. And then just in the area around here, in my area, we kind of like spread a message and sent the picture out. But I think there's some growing concern over that entire area about just kind of the safety and the people that are seeming to come into the neighborhood. So that was really strange, and it really upset the person who was living there alone that happened.
That would be scary.
It is scary. It's happening all over Lake Oswego, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I go on next door to see where the coyotes are because it just cracks me up that they just can't stop. They just like in general, people are like obsessed where all our coyotes are. So it's like I'm not there to see anything other than like, haha. But there is a lot of posts on Nextdoor about this happening with video all over the city, in different neighborhoods. Our
And just
neighborhood.
to be just so we're on the same page. So like people in hoodies showing up at
Yeah.
midnight. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
I guess
Oh
I
my
haven't seen
gosh.
too much. Yeah.
Oh, and like ringing doorbells, right?
Ringing doorbells.
Yeah.
And knocking
So-
on doors. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think your neighborhood is unique, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
it's-
Fair enough. Yeah. Thank you.
That's very unfortunate. The whole thing is no good. Any other comments about land use and let's see, parks? Nancy, did you have anything with relating to parks?
I don't have much of an update this month. I had a big one last month. We're still waiting on word whether the grant request was approved. This is, we're asking for a lot of money so we can build picnic shelter and other things at Rosique Park. And word is due mid-September, so we're almost there, but we don't have a decision yet. Other than that, everything else is public information. You know, they're working on the sidewalk area at Lorac. Everyone knows this. I think it's in the newsletter. So everything else is kind of old news. Oh, one more thing to mention, the picnic shelter they're proposing to put in would look like would be constructed like the one at George Rogers Park that they just redid last summer. It's a nice structure. So I'm not sure if the size is the same, but it'd be the same builder. So it's substantial looking. It looks good.
Well,
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. I hope we get it.
that's all from some serious efforts from the Palisades Neighborhood Board.
Yeah.
Almost everybody on this board has contributed in one way or another, and it's been a long time coming, and thank you for your efforts.
Sure.
I
So
was
thank-
zero involved, but everybody else has put in a ton of work and
It's great
no
news.
small
Yeah.
feat.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
that's
Rob.
all for me.
I was just saying that's great news. So yeah, thank you so much, Nancy.
Oh, you're
One
welcome.
question: do you know what the latest target completion date is for the rec center?
So as early as end of year, I think
Uh.
December, no sooner than that, or as late as early next year, January timeframe. You can sign up to be a member of, the gym and swim, paying fees once it opens, not now, but you can sign up now. And there's a link on the Parks and Rec website to do that. You can go monthly or you can go annually. And if you choose annual and then you change your mind once you visit for any reason, they'll refund the balance. So there's no risk. It's about $32, I think, if I'm going on memory, but I think it's about $32 a month.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are we ready to move on? I think I have Carrie next on MailChimp and Basecamp, or I should say Basecamp and newsletter.
Yeah, so let me just do newsletter first. I'm gonna try to just share my my document. So what I'm doing and is just kind of tracking our results for newsletter. And I'm curious, are you seeing July now or August?
July.
Okay, great. So I thought in the meetings, I'm just going to do the last 2 months that have been completed. We just sent out a newsletter last Sunday, so for September, so I'll feature that next month. We've gotten into the cadence of sending out the newsletter the Sunday before our monthly meeting. And just so that's kind of like the same time every month that we're working towards around 3:00 in the afternoon. And what we're finding is that our neighborhood likes to open the newsletter, which is really great. I know these stats, if you start looking at them and you're like, yes, they have to be better, but like in the general world, these stats are very good. We have great successful delivery, and we have over 1,000 opens per month, and it ranges, and it generally happens within the first 24 hours of sending the newsletter. Doesn't really tail in, but the unique clicks are close to 28%. It's like it doesn't shift that much. We had a little bit of a shift as we kind of moved to the new format, but you guys have done a great job in the past of just cultivating subscribers who open and click and actually spend time. If you go deep into it, they're spending time looking at the articles that we're sending out. And so here, this is the last thing I want to see or show. Like, we get a lot of the bump. This is a 24-hour performance of open and clicks. So we have that huge bump when we send it out, and then it pretty much stays at this the latter part of that over here. Few clicks a day, but the majority of it as soon as it goes out. And what I will say, that people are really liking learning about the board members. So this is Chuck Buck's stat, and he was second on our list of links, visited links. So I'm going to start pinging you guys. I like, Chuck, Nancy, I did mine because I was desperate because I was out of town for the month of August. And mine was the hardest to write. So I like to write about you guys. So I'm going to start pinging you and setting up times for coffee. And it's not just board members. I want to do Rick. I want to do like committee members or committee heads and, critical volunteers, because I think it just really, and this is consistent. People are not only opening it, but they're reading the content, which is unheard of in any sort of like newsletter world in the past that I've dealt with. And so I just want to let you know, land use and traffic, they're our biggest topics. They get the most click-throughs from our newsletter. So anything that we can do to create content around that is, in August looks very similar. And then right behind that is emergency preparedness. So we're actually writing to topics that people are reading about.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah. Basecamp, anybody need help? Anybody that needs help, I'm open to just jump on Basecamp with you and to, do a tour or train you on one thing that you're having a trouble with. Just ping me, reach out to me, Basecamp or email, and I'm happy to do that. So any questions about Basecamp? Okay.
Rob, you had texted me earlier. So about having some problems you're not getting notifications, and there's probably just a little setting, and Carrie
Yeah.
can help you with that and share screen or whatever you need.
Yeah, I didn't get the Zoom invite, so I can work with Carrie offline for that.
Yeah, totally. And then Frederick and I know we need to go back in and revisit how we set up the board agenda / notification. It's on my list. Another thing that's on my list is writing job listings for volunteers, or like our volunteer opportunities, write them more in a friendly job listing kind of way on our page. So I might be pinging different groups to just be like, hey, read this and just tell me if it looks okay. FYI.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions about that from anybody? Should we move on? Carrie, did you have anything else?
No, thanks for asking.
Okay. Rick, do you want to say anything about emergency prep?
So last Thursday, we had the city of Lake Oswego held the emergency preparedness fair at City Hall. That was on that really warm day. But they expected a pretty low turnout because of that, but they actually got a really good turnout. The majority of the show was in City Hall, which was air conditioned, which made it very pleasant. Now, one thing I want to call out, because I had a booth there, I was sharing a table with the Prep LO group, was that Mark Thornburg from Palisades was the only person that I knew from Palisades that went to the show. So even with all our advertising and everything we put on the website and stuff, I didn't see any of our board members there, or at least you didn't come by where I was. So maybe we can do better next year. I'll kind of throw that out right now.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Sorry.
It's okay.
But speaking of which, Rick, maybe depending on what other hot topics are happening, maybe we can do a better job of promoting it if you let us know a month or so in advance. Maybe yard signs, maybe better on social posting, which I have stopped doing. I just don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
To post
what
on
I gotta throw out though is this went out not just within Palisades, but also throughout the entire city.
Yeah.
Okay. It was in Hello LO. There was postcards sent to everybody in the city about
I don't think people know how
okay
the importance of this.
Yeah. But even the cities really, they're scratching their heads too. We've got 40,000 people in our city, and we get 400 people show up for this big event.
Yeah.
1%. And I've been doing this for 10 years. I see a lot of the same people every year. So there's a real miss here, and nobody has figured out how to expand the group, okay, and get into new people's homes. So anyhow, it's a problem that everybody's having, but
We
anyhow.
we featured it too on our website as the headlined event. So
Yes.
Joe gave us that ability to feature events at the top of our website, and we did write about it and ping out about it in the newsletter. So
Yeah, I know.
I'm curious about this 2-week ready though. Can we I still want to like figure out how to be better about writing about what the city's actually doing.
Well, that's a problem too, is I don't know, it's just losing steam. It's just you need a champion for these for these big projects like this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of there's kind of a couple of people that are trying to run this, and it just it's not getting a good traction right now. I'm really surprised. The city had a great opportunity to really push this program at the Emergency Preparedness Fair, and it really, I don't know, there wasn't that many people interested.
Well,
So
in Lake Oswego, I mean, they have the ability to give prep LO or LO prep or
Prep LO.
2-week. Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
And 2-week ready, like tables at the farmer's market.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and give those families walking around more information about this stuff.
Yeah.
Put them right beside the hummus guys.
I think the messaging needs to change and be more personal.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it needs to be driven from from the mayor, from
It
city
does.
council.
I agree.
And they need to hire a full-time person
They do.
to drive emergency prep within the city, to coordinate it. Everything associated with emergency prep right now is sitting on the side desk of somebody else that's got a full-time job already.
Right.
Okay.
Thank
So
you, Rick.
anyhow.
No,
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
I have,
Go ahead.
oh, sorry.
So I want to make one comment too. I know a lady from McVeigh South Shore. She's actually the chair of the neighborhood association, Ellen Steele. And she made a comment to me too. She said, how come you have such a great website? She says, I even go to see who the pet of the month is. How do you do that? Okay. Congratulations. I just wanted to share that with you. Okay.
It's a group effort, but I've mentioned to the neighborhood chairs committee, and Ellen has been there, and I said, if you guys want any help or even a copy of the website to customize for yourself, I'm happy to help. And the city has offered to pay for that, so, it's not
Great.
unsurmountable. It's just that they need to do it, so.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Elisa, you had a question or comment?
Yes, and first of all, I'm sorry for talking over you. I think I have a little delay. I apologize for that. I'll just raise my hand next time so I don't do that. I'm wondering if, I'm sure that everybody's thought of this, like the fact that it was a weeknight, right in the middle of kind of back to school, if that was a factor. Everyone's getting into their new routines and things. I had planned to go, and then I just got mired in work stuff and I couldn't make it. But that's that the evenings right now are affecting our stuff at work too, because everyone's trying to get in a groove for fall.
Yeah, that's why we didn't go, because of work or school stuff.
Yeah, the month of September is the National Emergency Preparedness Month, so that's why they're aiming it for September, because a lot of national and state type programs come out at that same time. So
yeah, that makes good sense.
Yeah.
Well, not as much as getting more people.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah. Anything else on emergency before we move on to traffic and pathways?
Nope, all good. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So Rob, you're going to be giving us a report on updates on traffic and pathways, and I know John also has something to share.
Sure. So I'll keep it a little short. We did receive some feedback that there was interest in exploring stop signs specifically in Palisades. So we submitted that back to the traffic engineer. I still haven't heard back from him, so I think I just need to follow up with that. And then the other big thing is kind of like what was being mentioned is, school's back in session. And so, we see a lot of traffic associated with Lake Ridge again. In the summer, there was like a hiatus because of the summer break from the parking, but that's back again. So I think that's still going to remain an issue that we want to try to, work and explore solutions between the school district and also the city of Lake Oswego, and how can we mitigate some of that impact to the neighborhood? So still recognize that as a concern. And then other than that, haven't had too much feedback, but I'm interested in taking input from John and hearing what he has to say.
John,
Okay.
your traffic machine caught me going faster than 25 today.
It's not my traffic machine.
Well, that's
Okay.
what it is to me.
John,
So-
you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so a speed reader trailer has been posted Monday on the 2600 block on South Shore Boulevard. So the trailer will remain for a week, and a traffic report will be provided on the associated activity. And so once it's been posted, I'll provide a link to the report once it's available. And so then we can see. I mean, well, I walk down South Shore a few times a week, and they're going 40 miles an hour in the 25 zone. So we'll see how bad it is. So I did this a couple of years ago, so it'll be interesting to see if it's gotten any worse or any better. But I'm guessing it's gotten worse. The traffic issues on South Shore continue to materialize. Thursdays are a trash pickup day along the 2300 block. So residents generally put their cans out on Wednesday night. Recently, Thursday, August 15th, the vehicle struck the trash cans placed on 2350 South Shore and also hit and destroyed the address post on the house on 2340 South Shore. I don't believe the residents of these affected addresses have filed a police report, but believe it's important to identify yet another traffic issue occurring on South Shore Boulevard. So keep you posted if anything develops there, but it stays the same. That's it.
Oh, Carrie has her hand raised, or is it clapping?
No, it's raised this time.
Just
it was either
kidding.
John or Joe before he left said that there was a link from the city that says safety concerns or traffic concerns on their site. Like you can go in as a resident and put in like concerns about traffic or speeding or safety. Do you guys remember this conversation?
And we have it on our website, how to
We have that on our site.
yes, it's in the main, because keeps coming on over and over.
Where
It
is it?
is, hold on here.
Because we should write a post about that, and then it can be in the newsletter too.
Well, code. Now that I'm looking for it, of
Under
course,
traffic,
you
I
see
don't know
traffic.
if we have it on our site, honestly.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
How to communicate traffic issues. It's under traffic, like John said.
Okay, so it is a post. Okay. I'll go and look at it. Maybe we need to just bump it up a little bit. So it comes out.
And
right
there's,
before.
speed monitoring requests, traffic, this is all from the city website.
Yeah,
And we probably shouldn't have actually copied it, but that's okay.
that's okay.
As opposed to just sending people there. But yeah, we get people on a somewhat regular basis who report to me about traffic issues, and I'm like, I'm sorry, we can't.
well,
And
and the interesting thing is this time frame from the speed trailer will be during the school year as opposed to the summertime. So I'll be curious to see if there's been any changes between school time and.
oh, the last time was during the summer. That would be very different.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I still think even though the traffic engineer has completely poo-pooed it a number of times, that we need at least 1 or 2 more speed limit signs to remind people. I know I need the reminder. You know, and there are parts that are 25, parts that are 35. I do think signs on that particular street in 1 or 2 places would be of benefit. But I don't know how to, you know, if anybody wants to champion that any further.
Well, I had tried in the past to see if we could get a stop sign on Canyon in South Shore. And they said, no way, it's a arterial collector
Yeah.
and it's the city, it's not the city's responsibility, it's the state's responsibility because it's an arterial collector. So you have to go to the state if you want to get any resolution.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, the problem is people see the sign, but they want to drive fast anyway, and there's no enforcement. So if someone wants to drive fast, the signs don't matter. You need police in the area to catch them.
Well, and you guys wrote that letter that was really great right when I was coming on, and then like 2 days later there were police ticketing on South Shore. Like, and then nothing again.
They're inconsistent only when
Yeah.
people make noise. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure there are people who are gonna speed regardless, but I think there's more than you think that just need reminders. I've been here 22 years. I still catch myself going a little too fast, except in front of John's house and Joe's house.
Well, there's
Then I slow
there's that downhill section, right? Downhill means the car wants to go fast if you're not paying attention.
Indeed.
Yeah.
On that note, to wrap up here, are there any comments, concerns, questions? I'm looking at the chat, and Carrie, you wrote something about,
Rob Heap submitted gave us that link, and I said, well, maybe it should just be a link in our navigation.
could do that too. Yeah,
Yeah, the safety traffic.
I like that idea. Good job, Rob and Carrie. I appreciate that very much. Okay, well then I guess I'll say goodnight to everybody. Oh, wait, I didn't say what I was going to say about Elisa. She has volunteered under duress. No, I'm kidding. To manage the yard signs. And that's not just the placement of, but the making of and the designing of, and she and Carrie are going to work together on this. And that will free Carrie up to do a little bit more on to focus on the budget committee and the newsletter and base camp and raising kids and being a full-time
Recruiting.
mom.
No, recruiting. We got to start recruiting for empty seats.
There you go.
Hey, yeah, I'm happy. We should all be recruiting. If
Yeah.
we know anybody in those PNA areas, you know, talking, you know, it's not a big ask. You know, we want more voices from the different from the different areas of Palisades. So
Elisa just asked how many open seats we have. We have 6, 10,
12,
and
13.
12 and 13.
Rob, you're 11, right?
Oh, yes, 11.
Right. Okay, 12. So there's 4 open board seats. And yeah. So it's all good. Yeah, unfortunately, Rick and Chris Durkee, who are on the leadership team and who have served many years on the board themselves, there's already somebody in their areas. But so thank you, everybody.
Recruitment is not just open seats. It's about people moving on and doing other things, because it's just time and knowing that there's like some way to fill that seat as they're leaving. Not that I'm leaving. I'm just using that as an example.
Thank you, everyone, so very much. And good night.
Yes. Thank you
Okay,
so
have a
much.
good
Good
one.
night.
Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
And thanks, Chuck, for doing the minutes. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Or abbreviated minutes.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.